Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I've been away for so long, but welcome back to Fishing AT, and I'm back down at Chesil Beach at Abbotsbury. It's Tuesday the 28th of November, and it's about 6 weeks since I last went. I had a minor mishap on the motorway, nobody was hurt except my van, so that was off the road for 4 weeks, but now it's back up and running again. So we've come for a little road trip from Chepstow, where I live, down to Abbotsbury to fish the Chesil Beach. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. Low tide. High tide is at 7:30 this evening, and the plan is to fish up to high and then maybe a couple of hours afterwards, because I've got an appointment tomorrow morning, so I need to be back for that. And it's quite a big tide. We've got at least nearly 3.5 meters of elevation change, so it's quite a big spring tide. So hopefully there'll be some action today, which already there has. First casts have already yielded a dogfish and a whiting, and I've got second cast out on both rods, and there's something tapping away on both rods already. So baits today. Just got some fresh ragworm. Got some sort of blow lug, and I picked those up from Real Fun Fishing in Portishead, and I've got some squid, and I've got some bluey as well. So basically hoping for a cod. There's a lot of colour in the water. I'll show you that in a minute. It's flat calm, there's no wind, it's about 6-7 degrees, lovely day, really overcast, so that's good, but probably might have to wade through a lot of dogfish, whiting and pouting to find any cod that may be there. While I was off, I bought myself a new reel, a Penn Fathom casting special, the reel on the right hand side. Here's my normal reels that I've been using recently. This is the Penn Mag 525 Mark IV, and I've also got a Mag 3. And basically the reels are the same sort of size if you see them, but the major difference, they've got the same retrieve ratio, 6.1 to 1. The main difference is the size of the spool. So the Penn Fathom 2 holds 405 yards of 15-pound line, but the 525s only hold 280. And only just having had 2 casts with this, I actually get more distance, because basically you've just got a bigger spool. On the 525 Mark IV, the mag adjuster gets in the way, I find sometimes, but it's positioned well on there, so I don't have the same sort of problem, even though it looks almost the same. So overall very impressed with the new rod. Christened it first cast with a dogfish, which I hooked in the tail. I thought I had a decent cod, because it was a heck of a bend on the rod, but it was a doggy coming in backwards. Anyway, nice reel. Let's see how we go for the rest of the session. So as I said earlier, it's low tide. You can see the sea state there. Sorry, pretty flat, calm. A little bit of a swell on the coming in, but nothing serious. And there's good colour in the water. And obviously the overhead conditions pretty overcast, and forecast to get a little bit cooler overnight, about 6-7 degrees at the moment. Going to go down to about 2 degrees. One thing I've noticed is that with the big storms, Babette and Kieran, actually the beach has completely changed since I was last year. Big sections of beach gouged out up here. I'll get the drone up hopefully in a minute so I can show you, but you can actually see the bed mud underneath the shingle. Down at the car park at Abbotsbury, looks like it's come right over the top. Great big peat boulders, which I've never seen there, on top of the bank, and the wood sort of gangplank up to the beach is completely shingled out. So looks like they've had some really rough weather down here during those storms. But anyway, hopefully it hasn't put the fish off too much. Yeah, just going back to the Penn casting special. Obviously it is far more expensive than the 525 Mark IV. So anything from about £80 to £100 more expensive on the book price. I picked mine up in a Black Friday deal on the VMO mail order channel, Fields mail order channel, for about 150 quid, so I got about 100 quid off, so I thought I had a good deal, that's why I bought it. And normally obviously they're about 250 that I can see, so a bigger reel, more capacity, about 125 yards more capacity based on 15-pound line, but certainly as I say, on the casts I've got, very smooth, quite like it. We'll see how we go on the fishing front. Just had a very small pout in, changing baits, so lots of bites, but it's just small stuff at the moment. I haven't really had a chance to put a third rod out with a big bait on yet. It's because it's just been constant sort of bites and action, and getting back into the swing of filming things as well. So anyway, hopefully I'll try and get the drone up in a minute, see if we can get some drone footage. So rigs today, typical rigs that I generally use here. I've got a first rig I've everybody familiar with is a pulley pennel, if I can get it untangled. So I've got Gemini leads that I make myself, splashdown to a link swivel, and then I got a 100-pound ASSO rig body, sorry, 80-pound ASSO rig body, and that's a 6-ounce lead. I've got a bead, a pulley bead, another bead, and then that's probably about a size 2 Cedra swivel. And then the trace is Amnesia, and this one's about 3.5 foot long, and it culminates in 210 Varivas big mouth hooks. And typically I'm putting 2 or 3 blow lug. This is a used bait, sorry. Typically 2 or 3 blow lug with a tipped with squid, and then banging it out. Well, here's an unusual double hookup. I've got a pout in. That's a tiny pout in, one of my specimen poutins. That's taken a ragworm on an up and over, and looks like the whiting, which is not a particularly big whiting, probably half a pound, has gone after the pouting and hooked itself. So that's sort of typical of the whiting that we're getting today, sort of half pound, and the pouting, well, that's below average, even for me. That one, he's a tiny one. I think he's a goner. Anyway, we'll keep him for bait, and we'll put the whiting back in. So the other rigs using today is up and over, basically. Got a lead that is just a sliding grip lead on an imp, and at the top of the trace I've got one of these upturned, well, clips, just upturned, so the line is, the trace is going to loop up over there on a swivel. And then below my trace, below my link, sorry, below my trace line, I've got a size 2 Cedra swivel, bit of plastic tubing just to help with the twist. A relatively short, only about a 2 foot Amnesia trace. I think that's about £30, just to it's either a size 1 or a 1.0, I can't tell, Aberdeen hook. And all you do really is you clip that trace up over your Gemini clip, and then it comes back down onto the imp, and basically that essentially halves the length of the trace, and you get a nice streamlined trace that you can whack out. And obviously when it releases, the trace goes down tight below the lead, like a ledger rig. Got a fish on here. I suppose not what I was quite expecting. Tiny little strap conger. It's the fourth species of the day. This is a bit unusual for me. I'm actually catching fish during the daylight hours instead of the night. Anyway, let's put this monster back. Sorry, one of the things I should have said was actually where on Abbotsbury I am. I parked in the car park. Paid my £8 for my parking. That sees me through to about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, but I'm only going to be fishing till about 10 o'clock tonight. And I've actually walked on the road again. I've come down, so if you're facing out to sea from the Abbotsbury, I've basically gone right and walked past the cottages, and I've come a reasonable way down the road up to a point where it was actually flooded. I had to get into the hedge because I've only got trainers on, so rather than get wet feet, I had to skirt around that, and I've come onto the beach there. So yeah, there's quite a few people here today. It's obviously a Tuesday, lovely day for fishing perspective. It's getting really cold now, so put another layer on, and yeah, there must be about a dozen anglers in front of the car park, and then quite a few anglers spread further down. There's a chap about 200 yards further down from me, down by the there's like a concrete bunker there, so he's fishing in front of that. So can't see because he's so far away, and the chap to the left of me is about 200 yards the other way. I can't really see if anybody's catching, but I can't believe that people aren't. It's getting bites pretty much every cast, and I say 4 species now, the usual suspects: conger, pouting, whiting and dogfish, and the elusive cod hopefully might make an appearance at some point. If you're new to fishing, or if you don't use one, then I'd thoroughly recommend, if you're using worm baits, particularly lugworm, is that you invest in a baiting needle. Very cheap. When I was a kid, we always used to try and just thread them on without a baiting needle, and they'd burst and whatever and spray everywhere. But generally with a baiting needle, you should be able to get the worms on your hook pretty much intact. And baiting needle's just a piece of wire, but it has a rounded end that you actually thread the worms onto, and then on the other end, you're not going to see that, maybe it's got a little hole in it where you actually put the barb of the hook, sorry, the J end of the hook, and that's how you thread the worms on. I'll just show you that now. So just locate the blunt end, and then thread the worm onto the baited needle. Just put a second one on. So basically you've got your worms on the needle. I'd pinch off the little tail bits. Unless you've got really good eyesight, it's hard to get them threaded on exactly. And then get your hook, stick the hook into the end where the recess is, sort of try and grab both line and thing, and don't do what I've done there and get the pennel hook trapped in the lug, and then essentially you can just thread the worms round. Much easier than trying to thread them on maybe the old-fashioned way that we used to do 40 years ago when we were kids. Again, here's another whiting. Typically what we're getting, lots of bites every cast. This took a 1/0 pulley pennel, lug and squid, so plenty of action here during the late afternoon at Abbotsbury. Emptied the reel. Not quite. As always, lovely end to the day here at Chesil. The rods are tapping away. There's a bite on the left hand rod which has got a ragworm up and over. Pretty much bites every cast, not necessarily hooking up every cast. Finding that baits are pretty much stripped after 20 minutes or so. If you get a bite and it dies, then it's probably best to bring it in because they've probably taken your hook, taken your bait. So something very small there tapping away. Lots more people coming in. Got people just come in to the left and to the right of me, so popular day to go fishing. I'm not sure what the forecast is for the rest of the week. I know it's nice on Friday. I haven't seen what it's like Wednesday, Thursday, but certainly nice to see lots of people out, and hopefully everyone can have a good session. Just look at that beautiful sky. Isn't that glorious? Anyway, come on, Mr. Cod. Make the long drive worth it. I actually had some frozen blacks as well in my freezer box, so I brought those along. So that's a frozen black and ragworm sausage. Let's chuck that out, see what that brings us. I can't empty that spool. That's over 400 yards of Sakuma crystal line on there, even with the brakes full on and the spool, I don't know what you call it, ratchet or whatever, on pretty tight, straight out of the box. Still get a bit of an overspill on there. Anyway, it's a great casting reel, I love it. Just bringing that rod in that I was getting those little taps on. Feels like there's something there. Very small. Another thing that I invested in during my forced absence when I had no vehicle was a microphone. So if you wonder what that fluffy thing was near my neck in the videos so far, it's a microphone, a DJI microphone, same manufacturer as the my drone. So I found that when I stood behind the GoPro, often very difficult to hear what I was saying. So no fish there. So I bought a microphone to hopefully get a better sound experience. And as you can see, bait's pretty much stripped if you leave them out after you've had bites for a while. Common sense really, isn't it? So double patting, so basically got another trace made up, ready to go straight back out again. Probably hear me groan now when I cast this one out. So this is my Abo Elite 6500 and the Penn Surf Rampage. 13 foot. Nice combination actually. For reel, that's probably 30 years old. Still going really well. Well, it's 2 hours after low water. Just gone 3:30. Had 3 cormorants just in front of me. It actually has gone quiet, surprisingly. Fishing 3 rods. The one in the middle has got a pulley pennel, large hooks, 2.0 or 3.0 with a hole pout in that didn't make it. When I wound it in, it was dead on arrival, so I've put that out. So that just stays out in the middle. You might as well hedge your bets, and it doesn't need a lot of attention. Just put a big bait on it, chuck it out, leave it for an hour or so, bring it in, refresh it. Whereas the outer rod, so the left-hand rod has got the up and over with ragworm, and the right-hand rod's got a 1.0 pulley pennel, typically with lug and squid, or like the last bait was that lug, black lug rag sausage. So trying to cover my options really. If I could cast another 50 yards or so, that would be good. I think that's going to be my aim for the next 12 months really, just to try and improve my casting while I still physically can. Got the tackle, just need to be able to use it. Well, that black lug rag sausage certainly delivered with a super specimen pouting. I can't believe it. Anyway, I should have maybe left it out for a bit longer and something bigger come along, but anyway, there's my next bait. He's not particularly lively. So yeah, it caught, but maybe not what I was actually after. Got something a bit better here. Had a mad 5 minutes. Trying to have something hot to eat. 2 rods went off. One with like large part bluey and squid. That was taken by a sizable whiting. And now the rag up and over has just gone as well. This feels a little bit better, but it might be a doggy. Yeah, don't get too excited. It was just a doggy. Anyway, just 2 rods out of the water at the moment. Let's get going. We've got it's coming up for 5 o'clock, so we've got 2.5 hours to low water, high water. Let's see what else we can get out. Well, it's 2 hours before high water. Still just whiting, pouting and dogs basically. So the whiting have been pretty much the same size all afternoon, about ½ a pound. The dogs are dogfish size and the pouting are tiny. And obviously I had that little strap conger as well. So anyway, we'll carry on going. A few more hours to fish yet. Well, it's high tide, coming up for 7:30. And actually it's been pretty slow in the dark, to be honest. The pace hasn't really picked up from the day. Still catching the occasional whiting, pouting. Had another dog, but really quiet. Missed a couple of bites, but judging by the size of stuff that's coming to the shore. When I catch a fish, it's you're just missing the same sort of stuff. So yeah, I thought it would have been a few more decent whiting, but anyway, I just using predominantly worm and squid. So maybe if I didn't bring any mackerel, I got some bluey, but I suppose I could try that, see if I could get see if they take that instead of the worm, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, one of those nights. It's just nice to be out. It's very cold. The forecast was for it to drop down to about 2 degrees. So I'm going to fish for another couple of hours, then knock it on the head, because as I say, I've got to get back home and then get out in the morning first thing. So anyway, let's see what the last couple of hours bring. Well, here's the biggest fish so far. It's a conger. It's probably just about £3. He took a double squid. There we are, the massive conger, £2 or £3 conger. So yeah, only just barely hooked. While I was getting that decent whiting in, had a good bite on that middle rod. So yeah, there are fish here. Just got to be patient. So let's get this one unhooked and put back in. A little flurry of action. So just putting that conger back. Had a bite on a third rod. Just a dog, small doggy. But it's sort of picked back up now. The tide's turned and is ebbing. So about half an hour into the ebb now. Fish come back on the feed, so reasonable whiting, conger, and now a dog. So keep going for another hour or so. Well, it's 9 o'clock, hour and a half after high water. Last casts are out. Had a couple more doggies and a couple of whiting. So I think I've had double figure whiting, about 5 or 6 pouting. The 2 congers, a small one and one that was about £2 to £3, and 5 or 6 dogfish. So it hasn't been a complete washout. It's been steady since the off at just after midday today. So fished for 9 hours. I'm going to pack up now and head back. Quite impressed with the Penn Fathom 2 casting special. Nice reel for casting and for retrieving. Nice big handle. Even though the gear ratio is the same as the mag, obviously bigger spool, it does bring it in quicker. What else? Yeah, and just thanks for watching, thanks for liking and subscribing. Hopefully now I'm back on the road I can get back to doing more regular videos. So if you're out and about this week fishing, take care, good luck, tight lines, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye now, bye.